has a weak spot. We all got a weak spot.
Yeah, we do. Now, I'm going to turn that off. Just watching my Fast and Furious movies and getting ready to start the day. And I usually have my clipboard. We're going to be walking down to it right now. But I wanted to start out a little differently today. All right? So the winter meetings are over. We've done team-by-team breakdowns. We went over each day of the winter meetings. We've done all that stuff. Okay? And I've done a bunch of other videos as well. By the way, if you're new to this channel, please click the subscribe button. Okay, and please hit that notification button so that you know not only do you have access to the 3 dozen videos or 4 dozen videos that I have out already, but you also will know anytime I post new videos, and I post new ones every other day. Okay, and if you have a channel of your own, after you subscribe, let me know in the comments down below. And as a way of saying thank you, showing my appreciation, I will make a shout out to you in one of my next videos so that people know about you and your channel. Okay, and I really appreciate your support. I want to keep growing this channel. I want to get as many subscribers as I can, and I want to get as many likes as I can as well for my videos, because YouTube shares it more often through its algorithm when I get a lot of likes. So when the video gets a lot of likes, I should say. So please click the like button and please click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I really appreciate it. And for my regulars, for my loyal following, I love you guys. You guys are the best. Okay, today I want to do a follow-up video on the Yankees. Okay. They've already made their sexy move. They signed Gerrit Cole, all right, 9 years, $324 million, which is a oodle of money. But what are they going to do next? I still think that there's a couple things that they need to do. No more sexy moves, but very important and complimentary moves, okay, that I think would put them over the top. Gerrit Cole definitely helps. It makes them a favorite to at least be in the playoffs and hopefully get to the World Series. But they need to solidify a couple other areas as well. And one being the bullpen to protect Gerrit Cole. Even though we have a strong bullpen, one more piece would be helpful. So I'm going to put this down, get to the trusty board here, all right? And we're going to go over what the Yankees should do. So let me get my pen here so I can point. All right. Number one, I think the Yankees should sign Martin Maldonado for a couple of reasons. If you don't know one of the reasons, not only was he one of the catchers, the top 2 catchers for the Houston Astros, so we would not only be taking him away from Houston, which would be great, but he was also Gerrit Cole's personal catcher. And Gerrit Cole obviously had a ridiculous season, but when he pitched with Maldonado as his battery mate, it was out-of-worldly. So, and since Austin Romine has moved on to the Detroit Tigers, even though we have Kyle Higashioka, I do think Martin Maldonado will be an important piece to bring in on maybe a 2 or 3 year deal. He's 31 or 32, but as a complimentary piece, not only to help Gerrit Cole and to help our other and the rest of our bullpen members in our rotation, but as a way of giving a veteran a chance to bring in another veteran to help Gary Sanchez get a break, so that he can not only have a day off or play first base if he needs to, or just be DH and give Stanton a day off. Because I do think Stanton needs to be the regular DH most of the time. I think if we have a scenario where Stanton and Sanchez both play about 130 to 135 games each, they'll be able to remain healthy and we'll be in pretty good shape because we have enough depth on the back end to supplement the 30 games that they're not going to be playing. Okay, whether it be infield depth or catching depth, outfield depth, we have plenty of backup players and plenty of complementary players to offset what would be them having their necessary days off. So Martin Maldonado is my number one. Number two, the bullpen piece, okay? And before I do this, keep in mind, too, Yankees brought in Matt Blake, okay, for their pitching coach. I think he's going to bring a new perspective, a new modern-day analytics perspective, just a further along modern perspective. But I think it's going to filter from the major leagues all the way down to the minor leagues. It's going to affect who we draft and how we develop people moving forward. Because keep in mind, too, aside from Luis Severino, and the jury's still out on that because he's still young into his career, but the last Yankees prospect that turned out to have a good career was Andy Pettitte. That's 20 years ago. I think he debuted, I think his rookie year was 1996 or 1995. So that was the last legitimate guy that had a good long Yankee career that was a prospect that we developed and brought through the system. So we need to take a more aggressive, a more analytic, a little bit more of a I'd say modern day approach to developing our pitchers in the minor league so that we can filter some guys up to the major leagues. And we do have some guys, but I do think our position players are a little bit further along in development and ability levels actually just development, not ability levels, in terms of progressing to the major leagues than the pitchers. So I think Matthew Blake was a huge get. And also, in terms of Andy Pettitte, I want to say thank you to him. If he ever sees this video, thank you for being part of that meet and greet with Gerrit Cole and his wife, because you were a big hit. And he was not only was a big fan, but he was really appreciative of you coming along with the Yankee Brigade and helping to not only share your experience as a Yankee, but convince him to join the Yankee family. We're going to welcome him with open arms. So thank you for being a part of that. So my bullpen suggestion would be to re-sign Dellin Betances, because he's already a known quantity. We know we have with him. Even though he's coming off an injury, maybe we can get him on a three-year deal or a 4-year deal. He's still young. I think he's 30. Will Smith was 31. He got a 3-year deal. So I think Dellin Betances would be a good guy to bring on a low salary this year to rebuild and to get healthy again, and then give him a couple more years after that, or acquire a reliever. Okay, either my two suggestions are Tim Hill from the Kansas City Royals. He has 4 years of control left. It will cost a good healthy package, but if he's available, if the Royals will consider it, we do have pieces that would accommodate where the Royals needs. Or the other guy would be Josh Hader from the Brewers. Now, there's been some talk about the Yankees already talking with the Brewers and whatnot, and he would, of course, cost a handful as well, and he also has 4 years of control like Hill does. But there was one proposal that I want to point out that, and I don't know if you saw this online, somebody suggested that the Yankees give up Gleyber Torres and Luis Severino and Luis Gil, one of their top pitching prospects, for Josh Hader and Luis Urias, one of the infielders they just picked up in a trade from the Padres. My first and only question to that person making that proposal is, I want to know, what planet do you spend the majority of your time on? Okay? Because as much as that would be a great demand for a GM, there's not a GM in the universe that would give up Gleyber Torres, Severino, and a top pitching prospect for a reliever with 4 years of control. Not even Mariano Rivera. Okay? Come on. Okay? I could see Miguel Andujar heading a package, or Clint Frazier heading a package, because they need an outfielder and an infielder, and both of them have at least 4 years of control, the same amount of control as Hader, and I know it'll cost a little bit more, but Gleyber Torres and Luis, come on, all right? Hopefully that was a joke. I mean, thank you for the early April Fool's Day. So anyway, let's get back to this, okay? Those are the two guys that I think that they should consider acquiring, one or the other, obviously, if they don't re-sign Betances. And my third one would be to sign another starting pitcher as a complementary piece. And a complementary piece, meaning someone who can still come in, even if you're a 4 or 5 and throw 170, 180 innings. Okay, we need another guy like that, because if you noticed last year, it was a rarity when our starters got past the 5th inning, and that taxes the bullpen a lot. So not only will Gerrit Cole help ease the load off the bullpen, and not only will the strong bullpen help ease the load off of Gerrit Cole and Severino and Paxton and the rest of them, but I think adding another starting pitcher who can throw those innings, it'll help the balance between the bullpen and the starting rotation. And my two guys would be Julio Teheran. He's 29 years old. He's young. He threw about 170 innings. I think a change of scenery from the Braves would be a good deal for him. He's a free agent. And Homer Bailey, used to the American League now. He's with the A's last year. He had a solid year, solid second half of the year especially, when the A's acquired him. And he's another guy that throws 170, 180 innings. He does have history. He's had a couple of no-hitters as well. But he's a guy that we could depend on for 170, 180 innings, both of them. And I think Homer Bailey's 33 years old and stuff like that. So these guys would be good number 4s or number 5s. And they would cost a heck of a lot less than a Madison Bumgarner would, or Hyun-Jin Ryu, or Dallas Keuchel would. Even though those guys might be good signings, I do think they're going to go elsewhere. I do think another starting pitcher would be a good piece to add to the rotation, because it seems like every year it's like clockwork. 1 or 2 of the starters get hurt for a period of time. So we need more protection. With some of the guys that we have coming that were prospects are also coming off injuries. So Jordan Montgomery's coming off Tommy John, so we can't expect him to throw 880 innings. Hopefully he has a good rebound and he keeps coming back, and hopefully some of these younger guys get an opportunity. But I do think another insurance policy, bringing in another starting pitcher, would be a good idea. So these are my 3 moves. we don't really need to make a boatload of moves. As great as it would be, to bring in Dallas Keuchel or Madison Bumgarner and trade for Chris Bryant or whatever, I don't see the need to do some of these moves. We have Miguel Andujar and Gio Urshela for third base, and then Andujar could, if he's not traded, platoon in the outfield, platoon at first base. We don't really know, but even though we have depth with Voit and Mike Ford at first, and we have outfield depth with Clint Frazier and we have Tyler Wade who can play the infield and the outfield, and which I think are good options, especially we need a couple of lefty bats to balance the lineup in Tyler Wade and Mike Ford and Mike Tauchman as well. And these are young guys with years of control, and they played well in New York last year. I still think a veteran catcher, one bullpen guy, and one starting pitcher, none of them which would cost a boatload of money, would be good moves for the Yankees to finalize their offseason. So this is my video on the Yankees. Let me know what you think. If you like it, if you have other suggestions, put them in the comments down below. I try to accommodate. If you have a request on terms of video that you'd like me to put out, put it in the comments down below. I like to accommodate all requests as well. I want to know what you think. Share it with share my channel with your friends and family who might be baseball fans. I want to share this with as many people as we can. Remember, we're the folks, the guys and gals that pack the seats. We buy the subscriptions on TV to watch the teams. We buy the merch, we buy the food and everything. We spend a lot of money on baseball, so I think us having a collective voice together as one big GM hat is not only a fun thing, but I think it's healthy and it's important. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't seen my other videos yet, take a look at them. I'll put some in the description down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button. I want to continue growing my channel. I want my subscriber base to grow, and I want to share this with as many folks as possible. So again, I hope you enjoyed this. Happy holidays, and I'll talk to you next time.